Welcome back. You are watching Web API tutorial series and this is part 5 of this tutorial. Hi, I am Rahul, your host for today's session. I am an IT professional, blogger and a research scholar. In this video, you will learn how to fetch data from SQL Server into Web API. So let's set the context. Before setting context of this video, let's do a recap. In last videos, we created an MVC application and Web API application. After that, we implemented security, and for that we use bearer authentication, and we also see how to test Web API using Postman. Okay, so now in this video we will try to connect SQL Server to Web API. For that, we will create a test database and a table, and we will add few dummy records. These records are the same which we created which we used in last videos. Once we are done with this, so we will establish communication between SQL and Web API, and at last we will show all the records in MVC application. One thing I want to highlight here, that we are not using any kind of ORM like entity framework or others. We are using simple classic method to set communication between SQL and Web API. Here we will use a data adapter for the same. So I think we are good to go here. So let's start. This will be a practical session. In last video, you learned to create MVC applications and Web API, all the things. In this video, we will use same application for our demonstration. So this is the application what we created in last videos. Here we have employee controller in MVC application. So here you can see all the methods, like we have index method, get method and all things. So let's build it and see the result, that is working fine or not. Yes, it is working fine. So let's click on employee. Okay, so you can see all the records here. So our application is working fine. Now we are going to do some changes and we will try to implement SQL in this video. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, here we have the Web API, and let's disconnect SQL. We have already created a database, so we will use same database for our practical session. So let's open new query. Okay, and write use and prac call. So this is our database name. Just execute the query. Okay, now we are using prac count database. Now let's create a table. So I'm just writing a command for that. Let's create table employee, and that I have ID, that's of integer type. I am setting it to primary key, and also identity with a seed value of 1. Okay, it will start from 1 and it will increment by 1 record. Then first name, let's make it varchar of 20 characters. Okay, now let's add another column for last name and set varchar to 20 characters. Okay, let's add one more column for contact number contact number, let's make it varchar of 10. 10 character. Okay, so okay, now let's one more column for address. So let it okay, let it make varchar and 50. Okay, now let's add few more columns for, let's say, joining date, and let's make it let's make it date time. Okay, and set the default value to today's date. That is, we are using get date method here. Okay, now let's add one more column for is active, and set it of bit type, and set the default value to, let's say, 1. Default that 1. Okay, let's execute the command. Okay, execute. Just throwing an error, incorrect syntax. Okay, so that was a typo. Now let's run the command again, and we have created a employee table. Now let's add data. Now let's add few records into this. We have many columns which has default values, so we will only add records for first name, last name. Let's add few more for contact number and address. We will add values in 4 columns, and rest will be added automatically. So let's add records. Let's say first name is my name, that is Rahul. Okay, surname is Cha. Then contact number, add any dummy contact number 9999, and address as test address, it's a 1. Okay, execute the command. Okay, so you can see one row affected, so record has been inserted. Let's add another record. Let's say John Doe. Add a contact number and address. Let's execute it, and one record affected. Okay, so now we have 2 records in our table. Okay, let's see the value. Select star from employee. Okay, now SQL Server has inbuilt intelligence, so most of things pop up automatically. So here you can see we have 2 records, one is for Rahul and one is for John. Now we will use these records into our web API. Okay, so let's open it. Okay, and before start we have to add connection. Okay, now in web.config we will add SQL connection. Okay, so we will use configuration part, and here we will use, in configuration section we will add connection string. Okay, connection string, let's add name is equal to, let's say, SQL connection. I think there is some problem in my keyboard, so that's why it is not printing C properly. Let's add connection string. Okay, here we will add servers, then let's say what is the server name. Okay, that we will do later. Let's add first of all these things like database, then integrated security is equal to true. These are the common thing, and you can find this connection string anywhere. I mean, it is available online as well. We have many websites where you can add these things. Let's add provider name, add system dot data dot SQL client. Okay, now let's check the server name. That is, for me it is desktop C006, and I don't know what was that. So let's add it here. So desktop, let's add this. Okay. Okay, so this is the server name for me. You can check your server name in your SQL database. Okay, now my database name is praccon, so let me add here praccon. Okay, I think I am done, because here I am using Windows authentication, so I need not any username or password. So you can also use Windows authentication for demonstration part, or if you want to use SQL authentication, so in that case you need to add your username and password. Okay, now we have already said that in this video we will demonstrate classic way. So before start, let me just write okay, let's clear this code first. Okay, just clear the code. Okay, and here let me write SQL connection, and then cn. I'm just adding a SQL connection here. So because we are not using any ORM, so we need to add everything manually. So we will add SQL connection, then we will add a command, then we will use data adapter. After that we will use a data set. Okay, then we will fill the data set, and we will get a table, and then we will do a for loop. Okay, so let's create SQL connection. So we are taking connection from configuration manager, what we have saved in your web.config. So configuration manager dot connection string, then name of your connection, that was SQL connection. Okay, and then dot connection string. Okay, now let me add a command for that. I will use simple command, select star from employee. Okay, so SQL is not case sensitive, so you can write anyway. You can write in caps or you can write in small letter. So now let me open the connection first, and add a data adapter. So SQL data adapter is equal to new data adapter. Okay, and in data adapter I will fill command and connection. So I will specify the command and connection in my data adapter. Okay, this is very old code. I didn't remember that. I mean, it has been around 6 to 7 years. I have not practiced it, but I guess I have remembered these things yet. So let's add data set and add the reference. Now da dot fill and ds. Okay, so now your data set have the data. Okay, now we will use a for loop. I mean, we will use here for each. So let's write for each here. Before that, no, this will not going to work. We will add this into for each loop. I think. Okay, let me write it. Then after that, we will use it again. Or let's comment it. I will write it later. Okay, let's write for each first of all. So for each, then data row, let's say dr in ds dot tables, and it will be our zeroth position. So dot in tables we have rows, so let's say rows. Okay, now we can add this code. Okay, uncomment it, and now I will write. So let's add name is equal to, let's say dr. Okay, in table we have first name and last name. Let's add id first. So because it returns object, so we need to cast it into proper format. So let's say id, and we cast it into integer. Okay, now name is equal to, it will be a combination of first name and last name. So let's cast it to string, and dr first name and plus, let's say put a space here, and string. Okay, now this way, and then dr last name. Okay, so we combine first name and last name here, and it will be a combination. And let's make it this way. So you can also write like dr dot toString. It will also work. So here you can see two ways to casting. I mean, one we have just put like string, and after that we added dr in this, and in second one we have just used by toString. Okay, now let me add few more. So my contact numbers. Okay, okay, I think contact number is long. Okay, this is not a string. I will change it later. Let me add first. Okay, let's change it. Let me write convert dot to int 64 here, because this is long, and Now let's add address. Address will be string, then dr dot address. Okay. You can also use index here, but we have added the name so that should be convenient. Now let's remove the dummy data we created. Okay. So let's do this. So we just run the application and we'll see. It will take some time for the first time. Okay. Yeah. Now you can see here we have all the records which we had added in SQL that you can see in your browser. So here are the records which we added there. Okay. Now let's we should do this. Just copy the changes. Okay, let's first close the connection. Because you cannot you cannot keep open your connection, so you have to close it. Okay. Now let's copy the code. Let's copy and add in another method. So we have two methods. One was to get all the records and one was to get records on the basis of ID. So let's copy here, okay, and change the command. Select a star from employee where ID is equal to ID. Okay. I think we are good to go. Or let's run it. Okay. Now let's check if we are getting values correctly or not. Okay, all the data this we see earlier also. Now let's check another method, employee then slash get and the ID 1. Okay. Let's continue. Okay, so it is throwing error, I think because authentication is not implemented. I think I have missed the authentication in another method, so let me add authentication first. This was the same code which we have seen in last videos, so I guess I have just missed it because I created a separate project. So what we seen in last project, this is not that project. So I created separate project and added few more projects like for unit testing. So I think I missed that. Okay, now let's copy this code here. Okay, let's copy it and paste in our method. Okay, yeah, here you can see that this code is missing. Okay, this is only for demonstration purpose. When you are working in your project, so you can just enhance this code. So I'm just showing it for demonstration. Okay, so that's why I'm just copying it again and again. Now let's run this. Okay, now click here. So get all employees working fine. Now employee slash get one, and it should also get record now. Let's click okay. Okay, so here you can see that we have record for id 1, and now let's check for id 2 as well. So get and 2. Okay, so let's continue, and yeah, now you can see that record is showing properly. Okay, so I think we are good here. So we see both the records what we created in SQL. Okay, so thank you. Hi, thank you for watching our video. Hope you like this. If you like it, so please like and share the video on your social network, and if you have not subscribed our channel, so please subscribe the channel as well. You will get more videos in coming days. You can also connect with us using a .NET Concept site. There you can find many articles and videos, and you can also connect with us on Facebook page and on Twitter handle. Thank you.